What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Nemo's podcast. I'm your host, Ammar Nemo. I'm an actor, writer, director, podcaster. I really appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you get a second, please hit that like, subscribe, and comment below after the video or during the video. It's your choice, and it really does mean a lot to me when you guys do subscribe and comment, all right? I do appreciate it. Okay, guys, what am I going to start with? It's been a cool year. It's been a crazy year, all right? With career, family, and stuff. I had a couple scares this year with the family. Thank God they're okay. God's great, definitely. Very blessed that, family's doing good. Career-wise, I'm happy. I did book, a couple projects this year, but this year has been weird. It's never happened to me before. I've had 26 first refusals, meaning like me and a couple other guys or me and another guy being on hold or callbacks. And I didn't book none of them. But I did book, which I'm so grateful for, the biggest audition that I auditioned this year. So as I say, alhamdulillah, thank God, I got that. I got that job. And I did book a couple commercials. One of the commercials I couldn't do, which always sucks, scheduling conflicts. It is what it is. But 26 callbacks, that's pretty crazy. And being on hold, and you're not supposed to think about it, but you do. I don't care who you are, and I've been in this game for such a long time. It does mess with your head a little bit. Did I do something wrong? What's going on? And again, you're not supposed to think like that. I know that, you could be too tall, too short, or you look like the boyfriend of, that the girlfriend left the director for. You know what I'm saying? Anything could happen. It is what it is. And right now I'm trying to get back in shape. I did gain weight for this one movie 6 months ago. So I should have taken it off by now, but been pretty lazy. All right. Not lazy, but my eating schedule is a little weird. That's all I can say. I stay up late all the time, which is not good. So I'm trying to get back to a normal schedule. All right. That's the truth. Okay, guys, I just got back from watching Avatar: Fire and Ash. Now, did I like this movie? Did I not like this movie? Let's find out.
Fire is the only pure thing in this world. Burn them all.
You've seen what they can do. Whatever happens, you keep the kids safe. You swear to me. The day has come. Avatar: Fire and Ash, rated PG-13.
Avatar: Fire and Ash, directed by James Cameron, is another massive cinematic event set on Pandora, continuing the story of Jake Sully and his family as new conflicts and tribes emerge. This time, the focus leans into darker themes, internal division, and more aggressive side of Pandora, with new action-heavy sequences and stunning environments. I mean, the movie looks so incredible. I loved it. I did like this movie. I really did enjoy it, but I still like the second movie better, The Way of the Water Avatar. At times, Fire and Ash felt like the same movie again, just with different action sequences. That said, this is still a James Cameron movie, and the way he shoots action is simply incredible. Some of the shots, especially the underwater sequences, literally reminded me of the movie The Abyss that James Cameron also directed. I mean, especially with the jellyfishes and stuff. You guys will see what I'm talking about when you watch the movie, obviously. The shots that he lined up and everything was so good. I'm like, dude, that's just The Abyss. And I actually like that movie. I think that movie's very underrated. Check that film if you haven't seen it. I think it's on Disney Plus right now. So yeah, check it out. Cameron really knows how to stage large-scale action while still making it feel immersive and emotional. Performance-wise, Sam Worthington continues to do an amazing job as Jake Sully.
You cannot live like this, baby. In hate.
One of the things that keeps coming up in this part of the story, which was a hangover also in the Way of Water, is Jake's reluctance to take on the mantle of Turok Makto. And I played a lot of The Way of Water as a Jake becoming a person for peace. He doesn't want to be Turok Makto, he doesn't want to fight, he just wants to protect his family, his clan. In the third one, there's a lot of pressure to take up that mantle. But at what cost? He's already lost his son, and in the first movie, by being Turk Maktoum, he lost thousands and thousands of Na'vi. And this, if he takes it up, he knows you're riding the beast of war and it's going to become more and more bloodshed. Once you take on and ride the Leonoptrix, ride the Last Shadow, that's it. It's game on. There's no holding back. And I think that idea of Jake wrestling with that in order to become the leader that he managed to become, I think it's a lot of added stress, but it gives Tonawari something to push on. You know, we need Turk Maktoum, but at what cost? You know, and I think that's a great dynamic that we kept exploring and we're still exploring.
Zoe Saldana is excellent as always.
Sam is my brother in so many ways, and we've kind of grown up together. We were given an opportunity of a lifetime as young up-and-coming, actors to work with one of our giants. And I really do believe that it's the gift that keeps on giving. It's not a coincidence, and it's not lost on me that Sam and I have still managed to stay and keep in touch throughout the years. And as we have grown, not just as professionals, but primarily as people, to be a part of each other's lives at whatever capacity has been a true gift for me. I love him with all my heart. How has Ntiri changed? She's dealing now with a great sense of loss after bearing a child, and she's questioning everything. She's questioning why she is here, what they're doing, why they're doing it, and she's also trying not to question her faith. They always say that when a mother loses a child, half of her is buried with that child. It doesn't even matter if she has still living children. She half of her will be buried with them. And Neytiri very much was buried with Neteyam. She's finding reasons to stay and to find purpose all over again. So I think that what's driving her character in this film is it's two very conflicting feelings, but they still carry the same amount of depth, which is it's love and it's grief. Yeah.
And Kate Winslet, she's such an amazing actress. I mean, you guys all seen Titanic, I'm sure. She did a great job in her role. I really liked Jake's kids in this film. All right. The kids that played in this movie did a great job. They felt more confident and developed this time around. And Sigourney Weaver is amazing in this movie. I mean, she's been a badass since the 80s with Ghostbusters and Aliens. I mean, she can do no wrong.
Get away from her, you bitch!
And it's pretty cool to see her play as one of the kids. And I actually forgot about that. I'm like, dude, that kind of sounds like Mrs. Weaver. And it was.
You've seen what they can do. This is the only way. You gotta go right now.
Take your sister. Go and hide. Go! If you stay, I stay.
Whatever happens, do not raise that bow. You swear to me.
It's such an opportunity. I want everyone to get to do it. You're free. My God, you're so free. And especially working with a director as generous as Jim, who loves these characters and supports his actors. And it really gives the creative people so much freedom.
With Avatar, I love the detail of bringing a world to life.
This world goes much deeper than you imagine.
Fire and Ash absolutely swerves into new territory. We see brand new cultures and creatures.
Filming an intelligent, fully fledged culture was really down to the details. Designing the wardrobe and the headdresses and the weapons was an immense challenge.
We created new clans like the Ash people. They have a very willful leader in Varong.
Show me how to make thunder. The visual quality that they have is so different. They're heavily scarred. They have piercings. They are a clan of people who don't mind pain.
This new, very powerful, knowledgeable character enhances the threat to the Sullys.
How do you still live?
Because it is the will of Ewa. Ewa.
She's like this young queen. Her subjects really worship her, and she has a curious alliance with the enemy.
You want to spread your fire across the world. You need me. If you watch the way Una moves,
It defines the character.
There was something special in Una's portrayal. I got front row seats when we're filming, and it's even more shocking and even more frightening when you see it on a big screen.
You doing this?
Burn them all.
I am the fire!
And then we got a culture called the Wind Traders.
Lighten ship, come up easy!
They are nomads that have accessorizing that looks like wisps of clouds.
We had a huge practical set built that was the main deck of the Wind Traders floating gondola.
They were tools and weapons that were created for us. Anything that we needed to create the Na'vi was at our fingertips.
Our biggest goal is to honor the actor's performance.
Through performance capture technology, Jim and the digital team are bringing the world of Avatar to life.
What drives me is the sense of wonder that we're able to create in a movie theater. We're going to tell a story that's compelling emotionally in a world that's compelling visually.
Now let's talk about another performance. Jack Champion. I think Jack did an incredible job. The last movie I seen him in was Scream 6. Spoiler alert, he was one of the killers, all right? You can tell that Hollywood is pushing him out, like definitely. And well-deserved, of course. He's a great actor. And I guarantee you when he was on set, he was looking at Sam Worthington, Sigourney, Zoe, and he's like, okay, I'm the only one with no dots on my face for CGI. He is the only human on Pandora. And I think that's pretty sick. You know, props to him. I would love to be an Avatar. You know, it doesn't matter if you're an Avatar or a human in the movie. The technology is insane.
Avatar movies are made using 3D computing tools to create a 3D presentation. Our eyes don't see 3D. Each one sees a 2D image. They go into the brain, into the visual cortex, and that's where it gets turned in our minds into a stereoscopic view of the world. So shooting what we call stereoscopic 3D, that can apply to live action photography, and it can apply to CG rendered.
Sully never quits. That's right. Sully never quits.
Working with James Cameron, I think for so many years, if you work with someone, I feel like you can't help but get close. And with Jim and I saw him every day. You know, I've been to his house, hung out with his kids, and there was a point where I feel like, I mean, to this day, I feel like Jim he's like a family member to me and like a father figure, a mentor, and he's like, yeah, I mean, I love Jim. You know, he's been there for me a lot of times during the really hard days. We've been together for cast dinners, good days on set. Like there's just so much life that I grew up with him. So, but I mean, working with him, I mean, he's James Cameron, right? Like he can do lighting, he can do stunts, he can do he knows everything about everything. So just to watch someone that good at their job is kind of always a little, it's just, I don't know, it's just like it's always almost entertaining to watch someone be so good at everything and just create this movie.
I think what the actors bring to the movie is the thing that is most important in the film. We love our world building, you know, we love creating this otherworldly experience. I love it all in 3D. I like the fact that people immerse. But why do they immerse? I could hold your interest for 5 minutes with all that stuff. I hold your interest for 3 hours because of what the actors bring. They bring the heart, the soul, the angst, the pain, the joy, all of the things that we want to feel as an audience when we're in that theater. We want to go on a journey with characters. We only care about the characters. You know, I shouldn't say we only care about the characters. The eye candy that we create around that, the creatures, the specificity of how you saddle up.
Now let's talk about Stephen Lang. He is a badass in this movie. I really enjoy Stephen Lang. Michael Biehn actually was supposed to play his part. And he's a good actor, right? But it's like apples and oranges, like seriously. Stephen Lang just brings that intensity, you know, that emotional, that raw emotion, you know what I mean? And he's just like a great soldier in the movie, you know, a great badass Marine. And he does have a little bit of a heart in the movie. I'm not going to spoil nothing.
It seemed to be a fairly straightforward relationship, based on military structure. A colonel and a corporal. So you knew who was in charge and who wasn't. And that kind of worked out for about a minute and a half.
Exactly.
Before he went off the farm, his character.
Well, it was more like a phone call. I remember after the first one, there was no talk of doing any more. And then I got a phone call from Jim, and he explained in this very extremely detailed phone call how he saw this saga going. Like, it was incredible. And he had it all in his head. And I said, have you written it down? He goes, not yet. He goes, it will get down. And then when we read it, yeah, it's exciting because they're like a novel, and 2 and 3 are essentially, they were one movie. Yes. And I think that's why the third one is bigger, but it's very familiar because it's the same DNA. It picks up straight away. That's the whole point of it. It's Jim's got this idea of evolving this world and evolving these characters, and it just keeps getting bigger and more complex. I think that's the thing about Jim. He's very detailed and very precise, but the greatest thing about him is that he opens himself up to every single artist. There's a lot of people who participate in these movies, and Jim is very collaborative to it. Now, he'll claim the idea is all his, but deep down, he knows that's what his role as a great director is to bring people in to make this dream come out,
I enjoy working with Jim a lot. It's a very multi kind of feeling situation you have. I mean, as Sam says, he's completely collaborative. He's very, very supportive. The set can be, it's a place where we investigate, we explore, where time is really not an issue, which of course completely flies in the face of traditional filmmaking. Also, Jim has a superb sense of humor as well, which is really a tremendous asset to have when you work under the kind of focused circumstances that we are working under here. So yeah, it's been a wonderful collaboration for the last 18 years. I've never had a day where I didn't look forward to going to work, I think.
The surprising thing is, it's almost, and it felt like this on the first film, it feels like an indie film.
To him, definitely.
Yeah, I think that's even when you're making it, I think that surprises a lot of people. I've done big blockbusters in the past, and I stopped doing them because they were controlled by committees. And this always felt like stuff I was doing in Australia when I first started. It's very small, very family orientated. Everybody knows each other, and you're all digging in together, and all the departments are together to make the story happen. And I think when people come and visit, that's the biggest shock. They go, it's just like an indie.
James Cameron is such a legend. I mean, this guy literally builds technology. He builds cameras and everything. I mean, he literally built a camera, helped build a camera that got sent to space. It's in Mars right now. You can look it up. It's crazy. James Cameron literally was a truck driver, and this guy just became one of the best directors of all time. He's literally one of my favorite directors, like top 2. I love Michael Bay, but I'm talking about like the little bit old school directors. He's number 1. Him, Spielberg, Martin Scorsese, Francis Ford Coppola. Those guys are just legends, like straight up. You won't see directors like that anymore, I promise you, all right? Unless you get people like the Duffers, who did Stranger Things. They're kind of like, that's how I am, all right? They're kind of like me, I should say, because these guys are nerds, what I'm trying to say. And they love that whole nostalgic feeling, old, 80s movies and 90s movies. So the one thing that I was upset with was AMC, and I love AMC. I love all my people there, but it really pissed me off when, it wasn't shown in 3D. I was like, are you serious? You guys had one showing at 6 p.m. for Dolby and 3D, for 3D and Dolby. Like, come on. Like, what's going on? Last year, literally, you guys had a later showing, in 3D in the Dolby. Like, why would you guys not have it every showing? I get it that the movie's 3.5 hours and you want to put 2Ds out there, but put that in the other theaters, not in the Dolby. James Cameron would be pissed off if he knew about that. Like, the movie's meant to be seen in 3D, in the Dolby theater or in IMAX, not, in 2D, which it still looked amazing. It looked great, but man, that shit pissed me off. Okay, guys, I'm going to rate this movie. I'm going to rate this movie as a 7.7 out of 10. Again, like I say, that's my opinion. You don't have to agree with me, but let me know in that comment section, all right? For visuals, of course, a 10 out of 10. Go watch this movie in the Dolby or IMAX in 3D. Don't watch it in 2D. I mean, you can, but the experience you got to watch it in is 3D for sure. Like, you got to watch it how he directed this movie. And I just, oh man, I got to go back to the theater and watch it again. I have to. This movie did take place 2 weeks after the first one, all right? So people are complaining about the story and the plot, and all I can say is it's a James Cameron movie. You come for the visuals and the action, all right? Like, seriously, guys. Anyway, you guys have a great new year. Take care, you filthy animals. Peace.